Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Vita. I help women that are struggling with fertility issues, autoimmune, PCOS, fibroids, any kind of female reproductive issues. I help them regulate their hormones, balance their cycles, and if they want to conceive, I help them get pregnant. So I am working on a free workshop that I'm doing on Thursday on autoimmune diseases, specifically for women that are trying to get pregnant. But I wanted to just come on here and test out some new software that I'm using, but also just kind of discuss what autoimmune diseases are in general and why women are more affected by autoimmune diseases. So let's kind of talk about what autoimmune diseases are. The simplest way that I can put this is autoimmune diseases are when your body's kind of attacking itself. So your immune system is targeting something that's within your body, something that it's not supposed to be targeting. And today, I just want to bring awareness to the general public that this is very, very serious for women. And earlier, I was discussing the fact that when I was, I think, 23, somewhere around that, I got sick and there was no explanation of what was wrong with me. I felt so bad. It was even bad to the point where I wrote a will because I thought I was going to die. And so the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. All that came up was that I was anemic, which big news. I used to struggle with anemia when I was little. And autoimmunity is what I can assume was going on with me. I made some lifestyle changes. I started working with herbs. I changed a lot of stuff. I stopped using chemicals. I did a lot of stuff. And then I was healed. I haven't dealt with that since I was 23, 24. But that went on for over a year. And it just kept progressively getting worse. I was losing weight. I felt so sick. It was serious to me. So a lot of times people have autoimmune disorders, diseases, and they have no clue. All of a sudden, you just start seeing like you have heart condition, you have blood pressure issues, all of a sudden you're sick. And there's no explaining why. A lot of times for women that I work with, they'll go into menopause early. So you'll have a woman that's like 20 something. All of a sudden their egg count goes down. And sometimes you just can't explain why people are sick. So I don't know why their egg count went down specifically. But a lot of times when we start to see the body attacking itself, those are autoimmune disorders. There are so many autoimmune disorders out there, multiple sclerosis and those, and you may be like, I don't have an autoimmune disorder. I don't have anything that drastic, that dramatic. But if you're starting to see multiple illnesses show up and your body is fighting itself, that is an autoimmune disorder, whether you're diagnosed or not. A lot of autoimmune disorders go undiagnosed, but you may know that you're not feeling well. You may know that you're sick. And so we need to pay attention to that. So this week, I've dedicated a lot of my broadcasts, a lot of my videos to talking about autoimmunity. Of course, I love women's health. So I'm going to focus more on women's health, but I care about men's health too. I care about everybody's health. Hello, Tendai. Thank you for joining. I'm glad you're connected. And everyone else that's logging in. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm trying out a new software. And as I was saying earlier, I'm preparing for a presentation or a workshop, a free workshop that I'm giving on autoimmune diseases and trying to get pregnant. But I want to talk about females in general, even those that are not trying to get pregnant. So autoimmune diseases affect 8% of people. These are diagnosed. So only 8% of the general population is diagnosed with autoimmune. But of course, there are a lot that are undiagnosed. So when I was feeling sick, when I got sick when I was in my early 20s, from my knowledge, I'm thinking I had some kind of autoimmune that I overcame, but 8% are diagnosed. Now, the scary thing that I want everyone to bring awareness to, and I want everyone to really realize is that 78% of all people that are diagnosed with autoimmune are women. So autoimmunity is actually a women's health issue, and it's very, very serious. And so if we have 8% of the population that's diagnosed, then we have another 92% that's undiagnosed. But out of that 92%, there are other people that have this. It's just not diagnosed yet. They're just sick. They're just having multiple health issues, or they just don't feel good, or it hasn't blown up into a full-blown autoimmune, but their body's attacking itself. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share a couple slides. I'm still working on my presentation, but I'm going to share a couple slides from my free workshop that I'm giving on Thursday. And just for those that wonder, some people ask me like, okay, what's a workshop? So whenever I do a workshop, it is in depth. We're doing like 20, 30, sometimes 40 minutes where you have a pen and a piece of paper. We're discussing a key problem. Then I go through, like, this is how you solve that problem. Solution A, B, C, D, sometimes even E. So I usually focus on a particular topic for that workshop. This Thursday, I'm focusing on autoimmune. And so people come in and it's more detailed, and I'm giving them step-by-step solutions on how to solve those workshops. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen. And then we're going to dive into my screen. Hey. Okay. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. And then these are just some of the slides here. So I defined autoimmune. Autoimmunity is a state of immune confusion that results in the body attacking itself. And so this is serious. This is actually going up. And it's one of the top 10 leading causes of death in women, in the top 10. You see how serious this is. And so why are women at risk? So about 30 million women in the US have autoimmune conditions. It's grossly misdiagnosed. And so we think that the number could be double or even triple that. And so here are just a few of the autoimmune disorders that are out there. These are the ones that you hear, like, oh, lupus, or, oh my gosh, if I have autoimmune, I have lupus, or I have multiple sclerosis and I can't walk. But there are also some autoimmune disorders that are, not to the point where you can't walk, but you don't feel good, or you're struggling to get out of bed, or every time you eat wheat, you react, or every time, celiac disease is an autoimmune disease. So the people that need to go gluten-free, they have to do it, because if they eat that gluten, then their body's attacking itself. So there are hundreds. There are over 100 of autoimmune disorders. And so for women in particular, these are 6 reasons why women are more prone to autoimmunity. So the woman's immune system is completely different from the man's immune system. And so that's another thing. It's kind of hyperactive, and it fluctuates throughout a woman's menstrual cycle. So a woman, for example, pregnancy as well. So your immune system would change during pregnancy. So for a woman, there are more complexities to the immune system. Sometimes it's hyperactive, sometimes it's more dormant. And so its ability to fluctuate also makes women more prone to autoimmunity. So women have 2 times of chromosomes, okay? So men have X and a Y, women have 2 X's. So they have 2 duplicates, essentially, of the X's. And so that also contributes. Pregnancy and childbirth. So these hormonal fluctuations that happen during childbirth, some women could be completely fine, and then they go to deliver their baby and they're never the same after they deliver their baby. These are hormonal fluctuations that are causing the problem. Estrogen dominance and exposure to xenoestrogen. So I talk a lot about hormones. So you can kind of tell where this is going. So this bottom part, estrogen dominance, means that a woman is just producing more estrogen. They could either be producing more estrogen, or they're getting more estrogen from their environment, from using plastics or from using toxic chemicals, which I always talk about. Also, birth control. Birth control can contribute to autoimmunity. There's a significant amount of women that are using synthetic birth control. And so this causes your body to attack itself. You're putting foreign substances into your body. And so your body then starts to go crazy. And so I always talk fact-based. Everything that I do is from the literature, from other people, from experiences. I don't just talk off the tongue of my mouth. I don't just talk based off of things that one person told me. I read the literature. I'm heavily involved in the literature. This is an excellent resource for those that want to read more on this topic. What I do want to show you is this. So I want to show you this figure from this paper. So this is looking at the incidences, like the percentage of people that have these autoimmune diseases. In the white bar is females, the black one is males. And then down here, we have some common autoimmune diseases, okay? Diabetes mellitus. Did you know that this was an autoimmune disease? Ulcerative colitis. These are autoimmune diseases, okay? So these are common ones. Thyroid disease, we know. But if you can look and see this clear bar, those are females. So look at Sojourner's disease. You have 95% of females that have this as opposed to 5% males that have it, okay? So of course, with myocarditis, you have these other ones that are male dominant, but even the ones that are male dominant, it's only like 55% of males that have it. But when you're looking at the ones that females dominate, it's 95%, 85%, 80%. So this is like a real epidemic in women. So, okay, what am I getting on here to say with my screaming baby downstairs? I'm coming on here just to bring awareness on this. I'm big on women's health and women's health initiatives. And so we need to take better care of ourselves. There are ways to prevent autoimmune disorders, and I'll go into that in a future broadcast, okay? So if you are thinking that maybe you have autoimmune issues that are messing with your cycle, I want you to join me in my free workshop on Thursday, and I'll put the link below. All right, everyone, thank you for joining me. Inbox me if you have any questions or if you need anything to improve your health. Bye-bye.